Guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, we will talk about access modifiers. To start with, we are going to do a simple example. We will create a class called as cats class. Cats. And cat will have two variables. String name to store the name of the cat, and will also have a variable to store the size of the cat. And I'm going to display the name of my cat is the name, and the size of my cat is size. So here I have created a simple cats class. I haven't created any object. So now I am going ahead and create objects. We'll go to debug. And we are going to say cat c is equals to new of cats object. So this is the way I have created. So now I will go ahead and set the name c dot name is equals to, let's say, Pina, and the size of my cat c dot size I'm going to do, let's say, 1 minus 1. Like this is okay. Like if I say the size of my cat is going to be minus 1, or let's say it may be 0. It is possible, but this should not be happening, right? I should not allow. If I go ahead and call the display method, what's going to do is, if I go ahead and call the display method c dot display, it is display the name of my cat is Tina and the size is 0, because these are the variables and there are no restrictions. So if I say here, I'm going to say the right method is display. Okay, if we execute this, the output of the program, okay, we haven't saved it, let's save it. Yeah, then execute this. Go to debug only. Name of my cat is Beena and size of my cat is 0. So this is so horrible to set the cat size is 0. I don't want someone to go ahead and set the size whatever they want. I want to put some restrictions on them. I don't want them to set a wrong value for my cat. But you are able to do this. Because what's happening is, since you have made these variables as public, this is called as access modifiers. These are called as access modifiers. Now, because it's public, anyone will be able to access it outside of the class. So if I wanted to prevent someone not to directly set the values of these variables, then I don't want them to see it, right? So how will I do that? I will change my variables to private. Private string name and private integer size. I'm saying, okay, I don't want anyone to go ahead and change the value. I want them to set the right value, not something random. So now if I go ahead and execute it, since I have changed this access modifiers private, no one will be able to see it outside the class. So now if I execute this, I will got an error. Variable is not visible. So I got an error. Okay, I'm not able to do that. So how will someone be able to set the values now? Now you can set the values of these using the methods, and you can make the methods it's public. So now I want to set the name or size. Let's say I want to set the size of my cat. So I will say public void set size, and this time I would go ahead and take some parameters and I would say integer s, and whatever the user is passing, so and whatever the user is passing, it will show up in this value, that is s. And I am going to store this in s. I am going to, if the s is variable, right, if the value that the user is trying to set is less than or equals to 0, I don't want him to set a wrong value. Let us say system.debug. You cannot set the wrong value. Okay. And you can specify the value that you want. So I want it to by default this. If someone is trying to set a wrong value, I will give the size of my cat. So I will say s size is equals to, by default is, let's say 10. If someone is trying to set the right values, loss is not less than 0 or not 0, then what will happen is else block will execute it. Size, I will say whatever is user trying to pass, let's do that. Okay. So what I have done here is my variables are private. So no one will be able to access it from outside. Okay, but the methods are public. I have created a method called public void set size. So this is a public method, means anyone outside it will be able to access it. And I am passing a value called s. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to do c dot of set size, and I'm going to pass, let's say 10. So I'm able to do that because 10 is a okay value. You can have a size 10 of a cat. Now if I'm go ahead and do this, the output is going to be, so you can go ahead and call this method. It will go ahead and call this method, set size. And the set size method, the s will have the value of 10 because 10 will pass to this variable. Now you are checking, is the size less than 0? Is the value of s is less than equals to 0? No, 10 is greater than 0. So this block will not run and it will run the else block and it will set the size of the cat to s. Similarly, you can go ahead and set the name also. So you can go ahead and create another method here called public void set name, and in this case, and you can whatever the user is passing. So that the so let's say the user is passing whatever they want. Name is n. So here I can say c dot of set name, and let's say the name of my cat is Bina. So now if you go ahead and run this c dot of set name, it will call this method and it's going to pass this Bina to this value, this set. And you are passing this name with the value Bina. So if you go back and execute it, let's first save this. And let's run the program. So when you run the program, it's going to set the name and size of the cat. Yeah, name of my cat is Bina, size of my cat is 10. So this is because you have set the size here. So these are called as the access modifiers. Usually always you should try making your variables, the instance variables as private so that no one outside of your class will be able to see them and we will be able to set the values whatever they prevent. That's why we make the variables private. And in the methods, you can see what goes into those values. You can restrict the what should go here. If here somebody is trying to put a size of my cat -1, I will throw an error right away, like this. Let's save this. Go to debug only. You cannot set the wrong value. And then I am setting whatever value I have provided. Let's say by default 10. Name of my cat Bina and size is 10. So these are called the access modifiers. In Apex, you have 4 different access modifiers. One is called private. Another one is called public. Then protected. And then we have is global. So this public is different from the public that you have in Java. So the restriction increases as we go up. So if you go to private, then you have protected. Then the next one you have is public. And last one you have is global. So if we go up here, this is more restricted. This is more restricted and this is less restricted. So global means outside of your application. Public is also going to be in this application. So it's have a goods access means everything in the application. Protected, we're going to talk about in inheritance. And private, this is like no one outside the class will be able to see. Usually you make your variables private and you make the methods as public so that no one will be able to set the wrong values of the variables. So this is about access modifiers. I will see you in the next tutorial. Till then, bye. Have a good day.